Colvin. I'm a senior technical recruiter over here at Smart Data. I just want to give a quick shout out to all the ICs that are here watching. If you don't know what an IC means, it's an individual contributor. That's me. I'm out here grinding, helping Smart Data crush it. And so just a quick note, Smart Data, we're a Dayton-based software consulting firm that helps companies accelerate projects with onshore and offshore experts. We also provide recruiting support, and that's where I come in to help clients fill critical open positions. So there's a little bit about the what. Let's get into the how and how I recruit and how I use AI to the next level. Let's go. All right, and I'll try to look over at the chat, just see who's saying hi, but again, appreciate everyone that's here. So let's go ahead and talk about the 2025 winning formula for recruiting with AI. What I'm sharing today, this isn't theory, this isn't a test run. These are the exact plays I've run over and over that deliver consistent winning results. My goal here for you all is simple. When you log off, I want you to be able to copy and paste what you've learned and start using it to win. The formula we're going to focus on is combining recruiter instinct, the ability to uncover what a resume can't tell you, AI precision, which is using ChatGPT to source faster, screen smarter, and match talent with the same accuracy as Kobe Bryant seeking a game-winning shot in the final seconds. So when you merge that instinct with precision, you stop hoping for results and start expecting them. You know, that Kobe effect. So let's go. All right, so we're gonna start with this case study. It's the only one I'm gonna run through with this session. And so with this case study, we're gonna focus on a new client in the utilities and energy sector. We'll use Duke Energy as our example. The team we're supporting works in field and operations asset management. We ran a discovery call, and here's what we learned. They're looking for a front-end developer skilled in Angular 19, which is a clear sign that they're operating with progressive technology. They recently had a migration that left them with a significant backlog of maintenance tickets and bug fixes, which the new hire will be coming in and taking ownership of that immediately. And then additionally, the short-term and long-term goals for the role include building a centralized platform to connect field and office teams, as well as developing additional applications for asset tracking, maintenance scheduling, and operational efficiency. So in this scenario, we went ahead and nailed the why the position's open. Now we've got to zero in on the who. Now it's time to recruit. So here's how I actually start my playbook. So the first action is I head straight over to LinkedIn. I click on the Employees tab, and I search by either the role title or a niche term like Angular to see who's currently in that seat or using those technologies. You can also run a Boolean search in the LinkedIn search bar with company name, role title, niche term to find past employees. But overall, the goal here is to find someone with a detailed profile that shows what they're doing now and ideally the path that took them to get there. And so in short, a LinkedIn profile that's filled out. If you get limited or no useful information from that, my second action is self-education. And so the quickest way to do that is you'll drop the company's URL into ChatGPT and prompt it to explain how that role solves problems in that industry. So you'll combine those steps, and now you'll take that insight and you'll move over into action number 3, which is crafting custom, attractive outreach. And here's how we design that. So from the previous research, I actually found a few employees who had their LinkedIn profiles filled out. So I pulled their information and combined it into bullet points. Next, in ChatGPT, I pasted the company's URL and the search data, and then prompted it to use that information to rewrite my template. And here's what the results look like from that. As you can see, on the left is my original outreach template, and on the right is what ChatGPT gave me. Now, I always remove emojis. Personally, I prefer to limit or avoid them altogether. It's just not my style. I like to keep it clean, sharp, and professional. You'll also notice it didn't perfectly mirror my original layout. And that's expected. Like, I'll go in and edit the results to match my preferences, which brings up an important reminder with ChatGPT or any tool. It is just a guide. It's not the final draft. And so with that, you do not want to copy and paste what it pushes out. You want to review it. You want to edit it, because AI may help you move faster, but if you're not reviewing the output, it can actually set you back instead of leveling you up. And so this is where we become masters at quality control and how we stay relevant with AI inclusion. And that is how we get our new template dialed in. So once that's dialed in, it's time to prep the search and we can start recruiting. So in agency recruiting, I focus on achieving 90% alignment, at least right out of the gate. And so to get there, I start by fishing in 3 ponds. So my interpretation of a Boolean string is that it's a tool that helps me decide which ponds to fish in. And so pond number 1 starts with combining your research data and discovery call notes. You'll take those insights and drop them into ChatGPT and then prompt it to generate a Boolean string targeting talent specializing in those areas. So on the right, you can see the results. I've got custom strings for a general search, LinkedIn Recruiter, and even for ATS matching. Now remember, being effective with AI isn't about blind trust. It's about mastering quality control. That's where your recruiter instincts come in. We combine that with AI precision to produce the best results. So always, and I mean always, review your strings. Edit where necessary. Sometimes it includes keywords that won't show up on a resume. Sometimes the string is too narrow and your pipeline ends up with a few or even 0 results. And that happens often when there's too many keywords stacked using that and operator. So make sure you're tweaking those keywords, add, remove, adjust until your pipeline is full of the talent that you actually need. And so now that we've tackled pond number 1, it's time to find pond number 2. So this is where we separate generalized firm recruiters from true experts. So pond number 2 is about identifying competitors of the company I'm recruiting for. These candidates are what I call your instant plug and play fits. I start by prompting ChatGPT with the company's URL, and I prompt it to list out the relevant competitors. If it's a hybrid or on-site role, I also include a location radius within a realistic commute time frame. That's exactly what I did in this example, and on the right, you can see the results. So from here, you have 2 options with this data. 1, you can prompt ChatGPT to create a Boolean string using those companies, or 2, you can plug the names directly into your sourcing tools filter that's labeled companies. So personally, I usually go with the second option, putting the names into the company's search filter versus into the keyword search filter. That way I keep pond number 1 in the keyword search filter for easy editing, and I use the company search filter to fully control and exhaust the competitor pipeline. So pond number 2 is complete. Now we're going to move on over to pond number 3. So pond number 3, this is often what most recruiters don't think about. And this is kind of what gives me a little bit of edge. So anyway, a lot of people stop at direct competitors, but true alignment often comes from industries solving similar problems, not just the same products. These companies are building the same kind of talent we're looking for, even if they're not direct competitors. This is where AI gives me the biggest speed advantage. I prompt ChatGPT with something like, what other industries align paste company URL on LinkedIn? Now, you can swap LinkedIn for any sourcing tool you use. My results on the right are from LinkedIn, obviously. And so just like pond number 2, you can prompt ChatGPT to build a Boolean string on that data. And that example is on the bottom left here. But what I'll do now is add that string from pond number 3. I'll replace pond number 1 from the keyword search filter and add pond number 3 into the keyword search filter. And then I'll just take what I have from pond number 1, which is those Boolean strings on the skill set, and I'll actually put that information into the skills filter. And that way I'm able to pull from those 2 particulars. And by doing this, it significantly improves my ability to find more options that actually align with that 90%. And so what used to take hours, and I mean hours of deep Google search, now takes me minutes. And I just love it. I really do. So all right, well, we've made pond 1, 2, and 3. So now the playbook is built. Now we're ready to execute. We've created Boolean strings to source talent across 3 ponds. We've crafted customized outreach messages designed to boost response rates. And now we're actively building our pipeline. We're scheduling and running qualification calls. And one way to level up those qualification calls is use your research data and discovery call notes to develop customized high impact questions. Now, I'm not diving into that today, but I broke it down step by step at the Hire Easy FRBR conference back in April of 2024. So feel free to check that out if you want to learn how to craft those questions. So with the playbook in motion, now we're going to shift gears because we're already in action. We've done those qualification calls. We're heading towards the finish line of presenting talent. So now I'm going to show you how to use AI as your own personal assistant. And so here are 3 ways I consistently use ChatGPT as a personal assistant. So first, qualification call notes. If you're like me, you're flexing your words per minute typing skills, hello arthritis, trying to capture everything during the call. And if you recruit in tech, you know it can feel like decoding a foreign language. So you'll hear terms you've never heard before, definitely don't know how to spell. So you just take your best guess and keep moving. But with ChatGPT, you can clean those notes up. And this is my favorite part, make them technically accurate. No more stopping the candidate mid-flow to ask, can you spell that? Or can you repeat that? You can keep the conversation going without losing momentum and without missing important details. And so, yeah, there are tools out there that allow you to be hands-free. I know people are thinking about that. Heather, why are you still typing? I'm not using them. Shout out to MetaView. If you're listening, I need a partnership. But if you're still typing away like me and adding 125 words per minute to your resume, that prompt right there, that's for you. And so second, candidate write-ups. You can prompt ChatGPT to turn your notes into polished 1-paragraph summaries. Even better, you can ask it to align that summary with your research data and discovery call notes. So what's most important to your hiring manager is front and center. And then third, verifying role alignment. So if you're working on a role where you haven't quite hit the mark on alignment, here's what I do, especially like a role I've never recruited for before, is paste the resume or your write-up into ChatGPT along with the job description, discovery call notes, and research data, then prompt it to assess alignment. If something's missing, you'll know exactly where to dig deeper, whether that's asking better follow-up questions with the candidate or addressing gaps when presenting them to the hiring manager. But I do want to add a quick reminder, always protect privacy. Before prompting any AI tool, be sure to remove personal or sensitive information from resumes, notes, or any other documents. My thought process is proceed with protection. So again, proceed with protection. So always do that, protect the privacy before you throw it into AI. All right, so with that said, remember, AI isn't the threat, it's the edge. Recruiters who master it move faster, think sharper, and become the first call their clients make. It means finding the 90% talent before the competition. It means walking into every call already knowing the business. It means asking smarter questions that lead to stronger conversations. And that's what drives better candidate alignment. And trust me, if you follow this formula, you will win. And so I do want to note that beyond professional use with ChatGPT, it is incredibly helpful in your personal life. This is how I guide people who are brand new to it and helping them build confidence and get comfortable using AI in everyday situations. So for me, I'm big on health. And so I'm still learning all the additives and chemicals hidden in our food. So when I'm at the grocery store, I'll snap a photo of a nutrition label and ask ChatGPT, what in this is bad for me? That gives me real-time market intelligence and keeps me aligned with my health goals. Another powerful use is mentorship and coaching, whether it's personal growth, leadership, or career advice. ChatGPT is like having a thought partner in your pocket, or as Tina said in the previous session, a co-pilot. So there are countless ways to take advantage of AI, but you won't discover them until you actually start using it. So maybe you're not ready to use it in your professional setting, but here's one way to use it in a personal way. So, and that's why we're here, right? To learn how to use AI. At least I am. So the more you know, the more you can leverage AI. The more you leverage it, the more unstoppable you become. And the more you win. And yeah, so That's my session here today, y'all. Thanks for joining. Here's my contact information. Feel free to reach out and share what you've learned, how you've used the playbook to start winning, and any way I can support you in the future. So have a blessed day, everyone. And thanks again, Dan and Hire Easy team, for having me.